Welcome to Easy Email Marketing. I'm your host, Yael Keown, mum, FIFO wife, MBA, coffee lover, survivor superfan, and creator of the email experience. In Easy Email Marketing, you'll benefit from my nearly 20 years experience, where I'll be teaching you all the tips, tricks, and insider info on how to create feel-good, non-spammy experiences for your subscribers. Let's get stuck in. Welcome back to Easy Email Marketing. I'm your host, Yael Keown, and today, continuing on the theme of starting a new year and all your goal setting, I want to talk to you specifically about setting email marketing goals. Or more specific, how to create email marketing goals that turn into the business results that you want for the year. So after learning this process that I'm going to teach you in this episode, you'll be able to calculate your email marketing goals for pretty much anything. So at a high level, I'm going to show you how to determine how many email subscribers you need to reach your sales goals for the year. But then, of course, you can take this same process to dial down to specific campaigns, promotions, launches, automations, basically anything that you are doing with your email marketing. And I'll talk very briefly about some of those variations towards the end. But the goal is that you aren't flying blind anymore. So that just hoping that however many subscribers you have will help you get those sales. Instead, you can almost guarantee it, and it just becomes a matter of numbers instead of just growing your list because somebody told you so, and then you're sending emails and then you're not reaching the goals that you expected. And so you wonder if you're doing it right. But really, it is just all maths, email marketing maths, and you might be surprised actually at about how many subscribers you need to reach goals based on industry averages or your averages, etc. So I do recognize that many of you are in different places in your business and your email marketing journey. So some of you might be starting totally from scratch, or some of you might be really, really experienced. So no matter what, I do have you covered. This process also works for all business models. So whether you have an e-commerce business, you're a digital creator, or you have a service-based business, we can absolutely base this around what you need because we just need a couple of core numbers. There are two main ways I'm going to look at this. Firstly, based on real numbers. So if you do have a history inside your email marketing software, you have some Google Analytics, you've been tracking your sales, I will go through that process first. But if you don't have much of a history, you can also skip forward towards probably about 2/3 of the way through this episode, where I will go through a process based around average rates. So you can take at least an educated guess, not as much of a stab in the dark, as to what sort of number of email subscribers you need to reach your goals. So hopefully by now you have done a little bit of your business planning and have set some sales targets for the year. So if not, this is your first step before we get into all of this stuff, because of course, if we don't know how many sales we want, how are we going to know how many we want to get from email and how many subscribers we need to know how to get there? I am not going to cover that through this episode. Otherwise, I will probably just be overwhelming you with maths and information. And really, there's just so many podcasts and resources out there to figure out what your sales goal should be. So instead, I just want to focus in on what I know best and probably the area that most people actually need help on. And that is how to match your email marketing specific objectives to that sales goal. And really, it is quite simple. Each subscriber on your list will have a dollar value. We just need to figure out what that is. So we call this your email subscriber value. So this is your total sales for a time period. So many people might think of this as like lifetime value. You can absolutely do lifetime value, but that's not helpful if you are just really wanting to look at your annual sales numbers. But it's your total sales value for a time period where those sales are attributed to email marketing. So even if you made $50,000 last year, obviously not all $50,000 came from your email marketing, unless that's all you do. So we want to figure out how much came from email. So that's your total sales period. So we need to take that and we divide that by the number of subscribers that you have. So you want your email subscriber value is the total sales for a time period that are attributed to email marketing, that came from email marketing, divided by the number of subscribers you have, and that is the dollar value per subscriber for that time period. So you can decide how long of a time period you want to use. For the purposes of this exercise and the whole new year planning, we're going to think about, okay, what is the annual value? How much money from each subscriber per year will you get? So you can decide that time period and then obviously apply that to anything. So obviously now this leads in to the next question, which is, where on earth do you get this information? And there are a few places because it depends on your setup and what you've got going on. So the easiest way is if you are working with an email marketing software that already figures this out for you. So for example, in Klaviyo, you can just go straight to your dashboard section and get a conversion summary. So you can see how many people have the placed order over the period of the year. So choose your time period. And then take that dollar value and divide it by number of subscribers. Easy. So Klaviyo, you can do that. In ActiveCampaign, if you have e-commerce or you have attributed marketing set up, you can do the same through their dashboards as well. So some of them you can just go in and grab the number. So not every software has this feature though, and not everyone is on the level plan that has that set up. And obviously not everyone sells directly through their website. So the next layer is your Google Analytics. So this is where Google Analytics comes in and why it's important to make sure your email marketing software is connected correctly to your Google Analytics. So all you need to do is go into your Google Analytics, select your date range. So select all of 2023 is what I'm going through at this stage. And then go see to sources and see how many people came from email. So now, with this one, you do need to make sure that you have your UTM tracking turned on. A big indication that you don't have UTM tracking turned on or your emails aren't being tracked properly is if all of a sudden you're getting a lot of traffic that's attributed to a direct source. If it says direct, that means that you've probably, when someone clicks a link in an email, it's just making it as if they copied and pasted it in the URL and they're going direct to that page. So that means that isn't entirely accurate. If that is the case and you're finding, okay, I've got really, really low visits from email, likely, but I've got really high direct, likely the majority of your email visits are in that direct bucket. So fix that if you can by making sure you got UTM tracking turned on for future. But for now, don't worry. All you need to do now is click through to that direct one, remove any that are like your homepage, because you can be pretty confident most of the time when people visit your homepage, it's not from your email, and then take the rest of the numbers and count that as if it was email marketing. And then hopefully in your Google Analytics, if you've got your sales tracking turned on correctly, your e-commerce tracking or everything turned on correctly, or you have conversion goals, you will see how many people came. So you either have a dollar value if you sell directly through to your website, or if you have goals about, hey, if someone completed an application form or something, you might have a number there. So that's to get your sales number. So if you have all your sales going through your website and you've got this set up correctly, all you need to do is go to Google Analytics, find how many the dollar, set the time frame, and find how many the dollar value attributed to the email source or email plus direct. Okay. Now, the next layer is, of course, there's this scenario where perhaps you sell via application form or discovery call, or you sell via third-party checkout and you don't have that connected to your Google Analytics, which you can totally, by the way, have like your Thrivecart, etc., connected to Google Analytics too. But if you don't, or you just people book through, or you just manually invoice, obviously we can lose some of that data. So I do have a little bit of a cheats way for you to at least be able to make an educated guess as to how much value. So to make your educated guess, take the total sales for the year from everything, and then you want to find out how many website visits you had across the year. So say you had 1,000 visits to your website and you had $10,000 of sales. Okay. Now, then go into your Google Analytics again and just go into your email marketing software and see how many clicks total you got from all your campaigns and all your automations. And then you can figure out your percentage. So Say you had 1,000 people visit your website and 500 people clicked from your emails. Now you can estimate that 50% of your website traffic came from email. Then from that, you can go, okay, then I can logically attribute 50% of my sales to email marketing. So, for example, if you had 1,000 visits and then you had 500 clicks from your email, that's 50%. So 0.5 multiplied by 100. So then you take your $10,000 in sales, multiply that by 50%, and that's $5,000 in revenue. Obviously, that method isn't entirely accurate because obviously there's higher quality sources. Maybe a lot of it actually came from direct. So I'm going to entrust you to make a bit more of an educated guess, but we want to come up with some sort of number here. So quick recap on how to get that subscriber value. Either go into your software and get that conversion summary, get that number for the full time period. Or option 2 is to go into Google Analytics and see how much dollar value was attributed to a certain source, or how many visits to your site were attributed to a certain source. Or the third is more of a guesstimate, where you can just go take your total sales from your bookkeeping software, wherever you find it, and then go, okay, well, of my website visits, this percent was email marketing, and then you can put that through. Okay. So that is your subscriber value, your total sales from email marketing. That's the hardest part. Now we can get easier. So the next number we need is your number of subscribers. So you can do this in 2 ways. You can do the quick way, which is just literally grab the number of email subscribers you had at the end of the year. Or if you want to be a little bit more accurate, you could just have each month's worth, so January, February, March, April, and just track how many subscribers you had each month and divide that by 12, and that will give you your average email subscribers. So once you have this, to calculate your email marketing attributed revenue, your value per subscriber, you divide your email marketing attributed revenue by the number of subscribers you have, and you'll have the average value of a subscriber. So going back to our example, if you had $5,000 in revenue from email marketing and you had 1,000 subscribers, the average value per subscriber is $5. So 5,000 divided by 1,000 equals $5. So now you know that every single subscriber on your list is worth $5 per year in this instance, because we were taking the annual number, but now you can see you can apply this to any different period. So with this number in mind, all you need to do is look at your goals and determine how many subscribers you need to reach these goals. So we'll just do a super, super simple example here. If your overall sales goal is $20,000, if you know email contributes about 50% of this, you go, okay, I need $10,000 from email marketing. And I now know that my subscribers are worth $5. So divide $10,000 by $5 equals 2,000 subscribers. Of course, in this instance, we've literally just gone, we want to double sales. So we can easily we can take that cheats way too and just go, I want to double sales. So logically, I just need to double subscribers. But I really love to work from these numbers just to get that right. So quick recap of that calculation is figure out your overall sales goal, take the email attributed revenue, so the percentage that roughly comes from email, and then divide that by your value per subscriber. And that gives you how many subscribers you need to achieve your goals for the year, and now you can start to build that up. Okay, so there are a few variations of this. So of course, if you sell like once-off things, your subscriber count isn't going to matter so much in terms of your overall number of subscribers. It's going to be, okay, when someone joins my list, once they convert, so how much are they worth? Like at what point am I converting them? Obviously, this means we're still continuing to sell and people might take a long time to convert, but your focus will be more on your new subscribers. So you go, okay, this year I got this many new subscribers, and divide that by the number of sales, and that will give you a good indication. It's very similar to do with sales funnels as well, where maybe you want to if your focus is just getting the majority of sales through like a sales funnel, you're working with your number of new subscribers and go, okay, of my new subscribers, this many people purchased, that's my conversion rate. Launches as well, very similar. Maybe you go, okay, each launch If I only do launches, I go, okay, each launch I convert at 2%. So to set my launch goals, I know I need to have a certain number of subscribers to get those goals. Same thing with sales promotions. Maybe you want to go and look at, okay, specifically a couple of key promotions you have through the year. So say Black Friday. So you can look at last year's Black Friday sales and say, okay, how much did I earn? How many subscribers received this email? And so the series of emails, and and divide that up, and then you know your value per subscriber, and then you go, okay, well, if I want to increase my sales, this is how many subscribers I need to make my Black Friday promotion even better. You can do it with automations, so your welcome series, etc. And you can also do it for like things like abandoned carts, etc. Obviously, we want less abandoned carts, but we can think about, okay, well, we just want these numbers coming through, and we want to see, okay, maybe we can start to improve our conversion rates here, etc. And of course, our lifetime value. That's always handy to know, especially for e-commerce businesses, to know your the customer lifetime value as well. So once you have one number, basically, you can set goals for anything within your email marketing. But what happens if you don't have any numbers? If all that I've talked about so far has gone over your head, or you just can't get in there and get any of it done? So what, in this instance, you would use average conversion rates. So for e-commerce, according to Klaviyo, all flows, so all automations, have a 1.82% conversion rate and campaigns of 0.1%. So that doesn't mean 0.1% of your list. That means 0.1% per email that you send out. So we have to do a little bit of a cumulative effect here. So we go, okay, let's say I'm starting from scratch. So my goal will be for 1,000 subscribers through the year. I know that 1.82% of them will convert roughly from my welcome series. So that is 18 sales. My average sales value is about $100, my average cart value. And so that's $1,800 in sales. Then on top of this, I'll go, okay, with those same 1,000 subscribers at a 0.1% conversion is not, I think it's about a sale per campaign. I need to do my maths right on that. And say, okay, I'll send 24 emails across the year. So 24 sales times $100 equals $2,400. Add those two together, you've got your amount. Obviously, that's a lot, but then you can take that $4,200 and divide it by your 1,000 subscribers, and now you've got a value of $4.20 per subscriber across the year. For launches and services, I would be looking at a roughly value of 0.05 to 2% per launch or per campaign. And if you've got like some sort of evergreen funnel, you could look up to as high as 5%. I might be inclined to go somewhere between 2 to 5%. So in this instance, say you've got 1,000 subscribers and you get a conversion rate of 2%, that's 20 sales. If you've got a sales value of $500, then that's $10,000 worth of sales. So now we just need to reverse it to figure out your sales goals, right? So we can take that say our goal is $10,000. We divide that by the value of what we're offering, say 500, that equals 20 sales. So to get 20 sales, I divide 20 by 2%, and that gives me my 1,000 subscribers. So quickly repeat that one, just so you've got it clear. If you want to do that reverse calculation, you take the total amount you want to earn, specifically from email marketing, and divide it by the value of the thing you're selling, or the average cart value. And that equals, in this instance, 10,000 divided by 500 is 20 sales. Then take that 20 sales and divide it by the conversion rate you're working with. So 2% I find is a really good number, but you might want to go with one of the other numbers that I spoke about here, or have a Google to see what your industry benchmarks are. So now you take those 20 sales and divide it by 2%, and that equals 1,000 subscribers. So that is a great way to at least start from scratch, and a quick way if you don't have numbers to work with. So that is a lot of maths, I know, and hopefully this is something you can follow despite the audio format. But the quick recap is you want to find out how much revenue is going to be attributed to your email marketing, divide it by the number of subscribers you have, and that gives you your average value per subscriber. Then you take that value per subscriber and use that to calculate how many subscribers you need to reach your goals. Sounds simple when I go through it like that, but of course I know there's all those variations. Okay, but underneath all of this, I guess there's just a few messages that come through. Message one is make sure you've got your tracking in place. Where you can, get your tracking in place because that makes this so much easier. The second message is you'll likely need more subscribers than you think. People really overestimate how well things will convert, and then they think they're doing really bad, but actually they're doing quite well. But this means you do need to have a heavier focus on list growth. The third message is the more emails you send, the more value you get. So in the case of e-commerce, if you're only sending one email a month, well, you're missing how many opportunities for people to purchase from you. So we want to increase that number, absolutely. And finally, once you've got these numbers, it really, really empowers you to know how much you can invest in your email marketing. So okay, it's worth paying a bit more for decent software that can do some powerful things. Or I might be able to invest in ads to grow my list more because I know people are buying. I know that each subscriber is worth $5 to me, and if I have to pay $2 to get that subscriber, then I'm winning. So you want to really, having those numbers really, really helps you out. Okay, so if you are like, Yael, I want more help with all of this, or I want some, I just need some extra resources, I have a few options for you. If you're like, okay, based on this, what we talked about, I need to grow my email list, then absolutely I would recommend one of two programs for you. The first one is Lead Magnet Magic, which is where I help you build your high converting lead magnet. You can learn all about that at yaelkeown.com/magic. Or if you've already got a basic lead magnet, but you're like, I want to go for it and really grow my email list, then List Building Boost is for you. And that teaches you a full range of list boosting strategies beyond just a very basic PDF, which is what's taught in the Lead Magnet Magic. And you can find out more about that at yaelkeown.com/boost. But if you want more help on how to analyze your overall email marketing performance, there is a whole brand new lesson inside the Email Experience membership about how to optimize your email marketing performance. So you can grab that as well as all the other membership perks at yaelkeown.com/experience. And the good news is if you join that, you also get to join the content planning workshop that is happening next week. So if you join Email Experience, you get to join me there to plan your full years of email content in a year. In like 20 minutes or less. You learn that process, or you sit with me for the 90-minute session. We go back and forth. You talk about this whole thing and have it done. Now, or the other option, if you want to join that, but you don't want to join the membership, is just to grab my $10 program, WTF Can I Send to My List, which will give you that, as well as a whole range of resources about how to come up with ideas of things to send your list. And you can learn all about that at yaelkeown.com/WTF. I will chuck the links to all of that in the show notes so you can find that. Hopefully there's something that helps you along the journey. But if the bottom line is, hopefully now you just feel empowered, you know where you need to go, you know how important email list growth is, and you will get stuck on. Thank you so much for joining me today. I would love to hear from you about what you've enjoyed from this episode. Hopefully you haven't minded a little bit more techie, numbers-based thing, but I think it's really, really important. Please do let me know what you want to know more about in future episodes too. I am over on Instagram at yaelkeown. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to Easy Email Marketing. It's an absolute honor that you chose to listen. If you love this episode, then it would mean the world to me if you could leave a review so that others can find this podcast and make their email marketing easy too. Finally, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss a thing. Until next time, have an awesome day and make sure to keep showing up and serving in those inboxes.